Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to emphasize Senator Sheehy's comments. It disturbs me when you talk about exploring 3D printing. Man, 3D printing is here. And not having a 3D printer in a depot or on a ship is like not having a screwdriver these days. We have the world's largest 3D printer at the University of Maine. 2 years ago, they printed a house. So I think we can print parts. And we should be, by the way, you should talk to the procurement people. We should be buying the IP with every platform so that we don't have to go back to the manufacturer for a particular part. And clearly there are limitations, but this should be accelerated, not explored. So I hope you'll take that back to the department. We are woefully slow on right to repair, and keeping an exquisite weapon doesn't work. If it doesn't work in the field, it's not serving its functions. So we got to really work on that. I appreciate your emphasis, and I hope you'll follow up, Senator Birdwell.
Senator, do I need to wait for the chair? Or did you ask a question,
my time's
Senator?
Slipping off. I'm not waiting for
Okay.
him.
Okay. Then let me respond, if I may, Senator. You're absolutely right on right to repair. It is an area that we've got to do a very good job to make sure that we've got the necessary.
A way better job.
Way better job. Certainly, 3D printing is here. Yes, Senator, you are correct.
Thank you.
We want to do right to repair, particularly because we want to be able to repair in theater closest to the point of need. And certainly as new acquisition comes on board, having the ability to have.
Okay, I want to appreciate that. Mr. Ditlevson, were you involved in the decisions involving the boat strikes in the Caribbean? Were you in the chain of command of that discussion?
Senator, in my capacity as the principal deputy, I work on the policy around that, but the particular preparation of the strikes is primarily.
So you weren't in the room that day helping to make those decisions about the strikes?
Senator, that'd be the Special Operations Low Intensity Conflict Office and Policy and the Joint Staff that'd be involved.
Have you seen the second video from September 2nd?
Yes, Senator, I have. I'm aware of that particular
What possible justification is there for the classification of that video, where the first video, 45 minutes earlier, was on Fox News the next day along with the secretary? Why is the second video classified? I've seen it, and I don't understand why the American public is being denied the opportunity to see it. What is the justification for its classification?
Senator, I appreciate the concern on the video and what it shows, but I can't speak to the releasability of a video.
How come? You're the
classified.
policy guy. What's the policy that says this should be a classified bit of information?
Senator, that'd be outside the purview of my particular office. We were not the classification authority for that particular video, and the processes and procedures governing declassification.
I would appreciate it if you would take this question back, because I have not yet, I've asked the secretary directly, I've not yet gotten a justification for why that video is classified, except that it's embarrassing. That's what it looks like to someone who has seen it. The designated terrorist organization, who defines a designated terrorist organization? That's the basis of the strikes in the Caribbean.
Senator, the ability to designate a group as a terrorist organization is outside of the Department of War's purview. I would defer to the Department of State.
I understand that. I'm just asking you, who makes that decision?
Well, Senator, it's outside of our office. It would be with Department of State, and it would be with Department of Justice as they advise the president on what group should be a terrorist organization.
I'm surprised you're not giving me a direct answer. Isn't this a presidential decision? Doesn't he or she make the final decision as to what is a, quote, designated terrorist organization?
Senator, I believe you're correct, and they are advised, the president is advised by Department of State, Department
And
of
do you
Justice.
know what the definition is? What's the criteria for a designated terrorist organization? Is it written down anywhere? I don't believe I've ever seen it.
Well, Senator, I would defer to those particular agencies advising the president through that process.
Could you supply, because you're in the policy business at the Department of Defense, could you please supply to the committee the definitions or criteria that are used to have a designated terrorist organization?
Senator, if confirmed, I pledge to work with you on these issues in the Caribbean, and I hope to have a great working relationship with you and your office.
You mentioned the Caribbean. I'm running out of time, but I've got to tell you, in your list of sort of priorities, focused on securing our homeland by bolstering security at our borders. No objection, no problem. Dismantling narco-terrorist networks, no objection, 100%. Deterring adversary threats, no problem. But your final one is restoring law and order in our cities. That's not the role of the Department of Defense. We have state police, we have local police. It's not the role of the military to restore order in our cities. And what concerns me is, if indeed it's the president that designates a designated terrorist organization, what are the limits of that, and what's to keep this president or a different president from saying that some group that they don't like inside the country is a designated terrorist organization and therefore could apply military forces? I hope you'll come back to me with the answers to my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.